Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen standard on Blazer or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist, take your pick. The choice is yours. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here presented by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Great Southern Bank, Lyon & Labor's Local 663, Burgess and Associates. And here on High School Game Day, we go down to Aurora, Missouri, home of the Hound Dogs, and head baseball coach James Hoffman. Coach Hoffman, thanks for your time today.
Appreciate you having me.
Coach, it's been a little while since we've had an opportunity to visit here on the Missouri Sports Network, but a season here, 14-12, a season that maybe midway through the season, back maybe a month ago, the Hound Dogs had dropped 5 in a row, kind of dropped below 500. But now just on an incredible run and a really special season for a number of reasons for yourself, but kind of put a bow on the season up to this point.
I mean, if you'd have told me that we'd be sitting here practicing after districts at the start of the year and even halfway through the year, and probably even a week before districts, I probably would have just blew it off. These kids have stepped it up. I really don't even have the words to describe how, what they've accomplished. I mean, it's not been pretty. I mean, we've, had a lead against Monette in the semifinal game and gave up a 6 spot or a 4 spot and, go 10 innings and, we come back and win that one. And then again against Mount Vernon, we're up 4-0 and give up a 6 spot. And just like, how, what are we doing here? And then next inning we score 9 runs and, and become, district champions for the, I think the number 5 since I've been here. And this one is definitely, a little bit more special than the others, with it being my last year and then being able to go out with my son.
An incredible season, that district, you go through, you get the win over East Newton, the win over Monette, the win over Mount Vernon. What do you feel like right now that you're doing really well at this point of the season?
Just being resilient and relentless. I mean, these kids, everybody else will tell you it's because we're butting the heck out of the baseball than we are, which is kind of goes against everything that I've put into our teams over the last, 13 years as we've, our goals to turn outfielders and drive balls in gaps. And we've, just because of the team we have right now and our youth and our inability to drive balls, we've really become accustomed to the short game and timely execution. I mean, that's how we won the last 2 games. That's how we have won a lot of games this year was putting pressure on the defense. And as simple as it sounds, no high school kid wants to run in, field a bunt and throw it on the run. I mean, it just creates chaos.
Who are some of the kids right now that are playing well for you?
I wouldn't say it's just one. We've got, I think we had double-digit hits in our last 2 games. So it's coming from everybody. Unexpected, RBI production out of Max Holland, out of our 2-hole. We had an injury to our leadoff hitter. So we've had to adjust our lineup a little bit and move him down the lineup. And Max has came into the 2-hole and, he's getting a lot of fastballs and, he bunts the ball okay, but he can square a fastball up and finds gaps. And, I think he had 2 triples. I think both of them were bases loaded in districts. And then you got Kason Brown, who moved up to the leadoff spot with that injury, and he's really taken a hold of that role and, just gets up there and competes and does anything you ask him to. And then we got, Sean Creasy, freshman, who, if anybody's going to drive baseballs in a big situation, it's going to be him. He's been really hot as of late. And just for that kid he's really taken a lot of responsibility as a freshman. With my son going down with an injury to his arm, he's not been able to throw since early April. And he's really stepped up and ate a lot of innings. Jaden Carpenter's really ate a lot of innings and stepped up. And even Max Holland, who, was slated to relieve a few games this year, and has got some big wins on the mound for us. And then we've got offense for. I mean, my son Heath, who is back in center field. His arm's feeling a lot better. He's still won't throw, but he's driving the baseball. He puts up big extra base numbers, and really leads us in RBIs. And then we've got, just down the line, we've got Jaden Carpenter, Matthew Cutbirth. They can turn outfielders. Just like we ask them to. But and then you've got guys like Carson Gillum, who's just a pesky left-handed stick, and Caden Cole, Brody Seitz do a really good job as well.
And Coach, with you kind of stepping away after this year, kind of give us a little bit of your background. I know you've got the 13 years, I believe, there at Aurora. Where did you get started, and who kind of mentored you as a coach, and some guys that you can look back on, and maybe even ladies that really helped make you the coach that you are today?
This is a second career to me. I was in probation or parole for 10 years before I came over to education. It's a pretty good segue. But I played for Howard Quigley in Legion baseball. I went to Walnut Grove as my first head coaching job. But won a district championship my first year, and like most ignorant young coaches, thought I was really good. And then second year, I got humbled. Realized I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. So got a hold of Quig and asked him if I could come and work under him for a couple years. And so I worked there for 3 years, and the Aurora job came open. It's been, I stepped in, and there are a couple years I still didn't think I knew what I was doing. Sometimes today I don't know what I'm doing, I feel like, but he's been a great influence. I've just had, you got guys like, Scott McGee and Jason Hauser, who, have been they're really good friends, and just watching their programs and being able to bounce questions off of them. And, when the Jamborees came about, those guys reached out, and I was like, absolutely. We had no business playing them, but I knew that that's the kind of program that we wanted to turn Aurora into. And, the first couple of years were pretty ugly in those Jamborees. And, but our kids being able to, be engrossed in those two type of programs first thing in the year has really been eye-opening for them. And, for where we want to be and what we wanted to accomplish, but that's been really, really great. Mentor. Quig's been the biggest one. He's been great. Probably, growing up, he's just a father figure to you, and been able to, keep that friendship going, and just through it all has been pretty special.
I also played Legion ball for Howard Quigley many moons ago, and I've run into him on occasion as well. But again, visiting with James Hoffman, the Aurora head baseball coach. Coach, if you could go back, 15 years ago and give yourself some advice based on what you know right now, what advice would you give yourself as a young head coach?
Man, just know that baseball it's what you do. It's not who you are. You can't. We got so many young coaches out there who sit there and like, I've got to do this. I've got to do, and don't ever neglect your family. That's the biggest thing, is all these kids that you're coaching, build those relationships and treasure those, but don't put anything ahead of God and your family. That's the biggest thing that I've learned over the years is we've had, you see coaches. I got coaches that are friends that, they are so engrossed in their jobs and doing that stuff that it takes a toll at home. And, I've, like many of us, I've been fortunate enough to have a really supportive wife and been able to coach a couple of my kids. But that's the one thing that and I coming with it being a second career, I didn't get too engrossed in it, but that's the best advice I can give to a young coach is that right there.
And now you've got Nevada, and that's tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about what you know about the Tigers and where and when is that game?
It's going to be tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Lions Field there in Nevada. It's a natural surface, so it may not happen. He's actually called me twice since we've been in the interview. But great community. I've got a lot of friends up there. Lived up there for a year. They're one of their assistant coaches, the Sanderson kid. I've known him since he was a baby. Um, his dad was in my wedding, uncle was in my wedding. So I've got ties to them. I know they're well coached. They're not going to beat themselves. It's just going to be a solid high school team. So we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here today, and good luck. And you need to call them back, and maybe you can move that game to Aurora.
That'd be nice. Get it on the turf.
All right. Well, Coach, congratulations on a tremendous career and a great way to go out. And thank you again for being generous with your time.
All right. Thank you so much.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life.